International Trade Focus is brought to you by Ghana Free Zones Authority and supported by GOIL and Agricultural Development Bank.
Hi there, and thanks for tuning in to another edition of International Trade Focus. Now, in this week's episode, we shall take a look at government's One District, One Factory program and its contribution towards the import substitution drive. International Trade Focus joined the Ministry of Trade and Industry and the One District, One Factory Secretariat on an inspection tour. We visited some factories under the One District, One Factory program in several regions of the country. Now, based on our visits, we shall ascertain the relevance of One District, One Factory program to the country's import substitution drive. International Trade Focus is brought to you by Ghana Free Zones Authority. They say sharing good fortunes, GOIL, good energy, ADB, truly, agric, and more. International Trade Focus is also supported by Peduase Valley Resort. My name is Anna Skill. Stay tuned.
Your business concepts and investment must be harnessed through a hassle-free and highly thoughtful process to make them globally competitive. That is precisely the mission of the Ghana Free Zones Authority. Ghana Free Zones Authority packages Ghana's enabling business and investment environment with endless benefits. Total exemption from major taxes and levies for first 10 years. Talk to us now about our business oasis created all over the country. Acres of industrial enclaves for all sectors. Our beneficiaries are in vibrant business, exporting finished and processed factory inputs all over the world. And what do our clients call us?
Partner.
Ghana Free Zones Authority, sharing good fortunes.
Breathtaking picturesque views, the essence of tranquility recrafted. What's your desire? A romantic expedition, syndicate sessions, banquet and conferences, or a discreet weekend getaway? Just name it. It is exclusively packaged for you at Peduase Valley Resort. Every spacious rooms, ultra-modern gym facilities, games, indoors, terrace and lawn restaurants and lounges, cozy private dining, and all the swimmer's paradise. Aquaba any day, all year round to Peduase Valley Resort. The acts of serenity skillfully served.
Here's innovation from GOIL that takes you further. New GOIL Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes have been expertly crafted with the latest in liquid engineering technology, highly advanced for modern engines, prolongs oil change intervals, save you fuel, clean, protect and enhance engine performance. The way engines work has become complex, and GOIL has innovated to stay ahead with expertly crafted lubricants that work excellently with all petrol and diesel engines of today. New GOIL Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes. Innovation that takes you further. GOIL. Good energy.
Are you an importer or exporter? Do you need quick financing at the best rate on the market? ADB has good news for you. Walk into any agricultural development bank location nationwide for that solution to all your trade financing needs. ADB offers you pre-financing of exports and imports, post-shipment credit facilities, bank guarantees, the issuance and acceptance of letters of credit, documentary bills for collection, outward documentary collection. Enjoy free advisory services from our well-trained, dedicated trade officers. Exporters of agricultural products are encouraged to take advantage of this great service. For further enquiries, call us on 0302 210 210. ADB, making trade finance easy. ADB, truly agric and more.
Now, the quest to move Ghana from a country that depends heavily on imports to one that is self-sufficient is on. Government says through its One District, One Factory program, local manufacturers will have the capacity to meet local demand, which will eventually reduce drastically the overdependence on imports. We visited some factories under the One District, One Factory program and compiled this piece. Take a look. Government of Ghana's One District, One Factory program under the auspices of the Ministry of Trade and Industry has become one of the key interfaces linking foreign direct investment to rural industrialization and development. This initiative was to fundamentally change the nature of Ghana's economy from one which is dependent on the import and export of raw material into an economy which focuses on manufacturing, value addition, and export of processed goods. Currently, there are 232 projects under the One District, One Factory program, 76 companies currently fully operational, 107 projects are under construction, 36 are under the mobilization stage, with 13 more in the pipeline. According to the Minister of Trade and Industry, Honorable Aluminium, this is made up of 26 new companies built from the ground up and 48 existing companies that have either been revived from collapse or have been retooled to move into manufacturing and processing. From agro-processing factories, industrial machinery assembly, and value addition to the country's raw material, these factories are setting up new industrial ecosystems, engaging outgrowers, and building new supply chains in the nation's most aggressive import substitution and export promotion agenda. International trade figures, together with the Ministry of Trade and Industry and the One District, One Factory Secretariat, have been visiting some factories in the Ashanti, Eastern, Greater Accra, and the Western North regions of the country. According to the Minister of Trade and Industry, Honorable Aluminium, there are 3 models under the One District, One Factory program.
We have different models under the 1D1F program. There's the main model, which is based on identifying investors who want to commit their own capital to establish a 1D1F project. And they apply to government, and then government will provide a full range of support to assist such an investor. So in this first model, it is fully driven by the investor, but with strong support and facilitation by government. And when I talk about facilitation by government, providing all the incentives that are offered under the One District, One Factory program, including bringing in all your machinery and equipment without paying duty, tax holiday for 5 years, and supporting you with infrastructure facilities, water, energy, so on and so forth. So that's the first model. Then we realized that there are districts where you may not necessarily have the benefit of a promoter that is interested in coming under the first model. In this particular case, government decided to take a proactive step in identifying groups of farmers. There's another model. I'm just throwing this in because sometimes people don't understand how comprehensive this 1D1F program is. So I talked about model 1 and then this model 2. The third model also is based on the fact that you may have groups of young people, graduates who are out of school, they have no aspiration, no hope. We don't want to leave them out of this 1D1F initiative. So under very similar circumstances, government would group these graduates, 40 to 49, so that we will help them to establish a company. So this is a youth-owned company. Unlike this one, it's a farmer-owned company. So under what we call the Enable Youth 1D1F business model, government will do exactly the same thing. We'll group the young people, provide them with seed capital to bring in, if it's for rice processing, the same type of equipment, and provide similar support to them so that they can now also become investors themselves.
In the area of animal husbandry, the One District, One Factory program, through relevant financial institutions such as the Ghana Exim Bank and the ADB, have engaged private businesses in the production and processes of poultry and pork. This is to provide import substitution in the animal protein demand from Ghana. In 2018 alone, Ghana imported over 500,000 broiler day-old chicks and over 7 million layer day-old chicks. According to the Ghana Poultry Project, the country imports over 350,000 metric tons of chicken per annum. As an import substitution measure, the One District, One Factory program through the Ghana Exim Bank and the ADB is providing support to about 20 poultry production companies in the country to expand to West Africa. These efforts are yielding the desired results in some areas. Darko Farms and Company Limited begins export to neighboring Burkina Faso, Liberia and Cameroon after the company was revived under the government's One District, One Factory program. Darko Farms at some point was the largest producer of chicken in the West African sub-region. The company fell into distress over a decade ago and halted operations. However, with a capital injection of 22 million cedis from the Ghana Exim Bank, the poultry farm has resumed operation and is expected to reach full operational capacity by December this year.
All our day-old chick cockerels are all going to Burkina Faso. They pick it here from our factory right away. They are taking close to about 10 to 15,000 chicks every week to Burkina Faso from our factory here. Yes, the export potentials currently we are looking to, on the meat side, we are currently looking to fill in the local content first before we look at exporting. But on the chick side, the potential is there. We have orders coming in from Cameroon, we have orders coming in from Burkina Faso. That's the DOC. We have orders coming in from Liberia, and feed. We have orders also coming in from Liberia as well. It's just that because of the COVID-19 and border closes, those orders had been suspended for now. But we're hoping that in the next month to two, these orders will be able to go out.
Cofarms currently engages 200 outgrowers who have been provided with broilers. The figure is expected to rise to 2,000 once the company operates at maximum capacity. Some 18 million cedis has been disbursed so far for the revitalization of Darko Farms, with the remaining 4 million cedis expected to be rolled out in the coming months. Managing Director of Darko Farms, Samuel Darko, noted that government support has been helpful.
1D1F has really brought Darko Farms back on the radar. I know for some time now we were off the radar, and all the infrastructure was available. The infrastructure which was built since 1967 was still there. We have the farmhouses, we have the hatchery house, we have the processing house, we have all those facilities were there. But the advantage that we had was we didn't need to go and buy land, we didn't go and put in new structures. We just needed a little bit of finance and to bring in new equipment and to bring us up, to augment the production, and that is what has happened, and that's what has happened. That's the impact that is made to us. Well, they really facilitated this. I can't say the quantum, but it's a major input that they've put in quite substantial. With the intervention of 1D1F, from hopes that by December you should see us in full production. We'll be producing broiler chicken from the processing plant. We're going to be producing close to 200,000 birds a month. We're going to be also turning out about 6 million day-old chicks a year. We're also going to be turning out we're going to have about 100 to 200,000 layers on the farm. And we're going to have producing close to about 60 tons of poultry feed for poultry farmers a day.
As you are aware, today we are visiting one of our most celebrated industrial enterprises in Ghana, Darko Farms, which used to be the largest chicken producer in West Africa several decades ago. I know you've seen a couple of One District, One Factory enterprises. But there are two things in particular about this 1D1F factory that I would like to emphasize. First, this is an existing company that had fallen into distress because of harsh economic conditions in the past. And this is the point that I've been making continuously, that if government intends to support industries, it should not only be to incubate new industries, but also to be able to resurrect existing industries that have fallen into distress. Because this company falls into all the categories or criteria that we look for in identifying 1D1F companies. First, it is located in a rural community, which allows us to decentralize industrial development. Secondly, it is creating significant level of jobs, and you can see literally this is the major economic activity around this community. Number three, it is also a key instrument for import substitution. Why would we need to import chicken into this country when we have the capacity to support companies like this to do import substitution? And that's very significant for us. But it also goes beyond that. If this company is running at full capacity, it has the potential to export both eggs, chicken, and because it has a hatchery, it can also export day-old chicks. And so the potential even for optimizing our export business in Ghana is also very huge. So whichever way you look at it, would it make sense for us to abandon a company like this because it's an existing company and you would not support it under 1D1F? I don't think that would be fair, because this is typically what we are seeking to replicate around it. So you can imagine if every district is able to benefit from such an enterprise, of course Ghana will change, and that's what we are looking for.
In the area of pork production, Agro Africa Limited, a supplier of agricultural inputs and machinery, has decided to diversify to meet the demand for processed pork products. Agro Africa Limited has a piggery that is attached to a pork processing facility being established at Asankare in the Asante Ashim South Municipality. The company, through its German suppliers, Big Dutchman, can supply 1,000 pigs per week for processing. The company, upon completion, will be able to produce processed pork products such as ham, bacon, and sausages. Managing Director and promoter of the product, Mr. Kwabna Mwating, explained that Agro Africa Limited wants to fill the processing gap within the piggery sector.
Basically, it's an agricultural machinery company. We deal in tractors, combine harvesters, poultry equipment, piggery equipment, and the processing equipment. Here, about way because we wanted to do this because per our activities with the piggery setup, we realized there's a shortage of or a gap of the processing. So we decided to enter into processing of the pig into sausages, into bacon, to other stuff. All these things were more or less imported. There were just a few companies doing one or two, but it was just on a small scale. So we decided to take it to a next different level. So through our discussion, then we partnered one-stop engineering company. They came to our aid. We teamed up and we started this project. Then the One District, One Factory came in as a supplement just to help us achieve the goal. Then they brought in JCB, which JCB, honestly, they've done well. Most of the equipment here, almost been financed by JCB. They gave us $1.3 million. Though the whole project is costing us $5 million, and they gave us $1.3 million to just augment the machinery, so that we can also do the rest. The government is giving us the rebate of the interest. So for the interest, government is taking half of the interest. They promised to do the road for us. There's also been a promise to bring us electricity and other stuff. As you can see, the transformer is also here. We are just waiting for the guys to just come and do the installation and finish. Honestly, they've been fantastic. They've been helpful. We only hope that they continue. Maybe if it's a 9-day wonder, then I can't tell. But so far, at least I should give them 80 to 90%. Actually, we should have completed by April. But because of the COVID, the guys are unable to come. Some are coming from China, some are coming from Russia, and some are coming from Germany. There are 3 different teams coming for the installation. And we are expecting them later next month, which is end of October. So that is late by November we can start. Hopefully 2 months, maximum 2.5 months we should be done. The idea is by December we need to do the Christmas, we need to do a test transmission. So if they are able to come as scheduled, then we are good to go, unless anything happens. We are here, we are going to slaughter 1,000 pigs per day. It's 100 pigs per 1 hour, and we're doing 10 hours a day. And we also be processing 60% of the capacity.
The establishment of this company is projected to generate 250 direct and indirect jobs. The processing facility will also create a market of over 186 piggery farmers, producing a minimum of 15 pigs each per week as part of the Outgrower scheme.
So we've already started. We are recruiting almost 2,000 farmers, 2,000 to 5,000 thereabouts. Some want to do one cell, some want to do 5 cell, but we want to do a bigger numbers. So for instance, if you go to a farm place, if you go to a big room, we have a lot of these farms there. So the idea is that we will support them with the machines, with the farming kit, with any machines needed, the drinking nibbles, everything, so that they can farm and we will buy their produce. So they only have to do is just to farm for us and we'll buy. There's no problem with after sales, the marketing of your produce. Somebody is ready. Just farm and I'll buy from you. So I don't see anything difficult in some of the farmers. Earlier on that, the problem was who to buy, what company is buying, and those who were buying were not buying in volumes. But we are taking as many as 1,000 pigs a day, and that number alone is quite huge.
The company has secured off-taker agreement with some frozen food outlets in the country and plans to target neighboring countries under the AFCFTA arrangement.
Breathtaking picturesque views, the essence of tranquility recrafted. What's your desire? A romantic expedition, syndicate sessions, banquet and conferences, or a discreet weekend getaway? Just name it. It is exclusively packaged for you at Peduasi Valley Resort. Every spacious rooms, ultra-modern gym facilities, games, indoors, terrace and lawn restaurants and lounges, cozy private dining, and all the swimmer's paradise. Aquaba, any day, all year round to Peduasi Valley Resort. The acts of serenity, skillfully served.
Your business concepts and investment must be harnessed through a hassle-free and highly thoughtful process to make them globally competitive. That is precisely the mission of the Ghana Free Zones Authority. Ghana Free Zones Authority packages Ghana's enabling business and investment environment with endless benefits. Total exemption from major taxes and levies for first 10 years. Talk to us now about our business oasis created all over the country, acres of industrial enclaves for all sectors. Our beneficiaries are in vibrant business, exporting finished and processed factory inputs all over the world. And what do our clients call us?
Partner.
Ghana Free Zones Authority, sharing good fortunes.
If you just tuned in, you're watching International Trade Focus. Now we are taking a look at government's One District, One Factory program and its contribution towards the import substitution drive. In the agro-processing sector, the government has identified the oil palm sector as a strategic anchor industry to diversify into. Indigenous factories like Apia Minka Company Limited and Brim Oil Mills has received support from government's One District, One Factory program. The minister, after touring the facility of Apia Minka Complex Limited and Ashanti Oil Mills, explained why the factory has been included in the One District, One Factory program.
The oil palm industry
is a major foreign exchange area. In Malaysia, for example, they earn over $25 billion per annum from oil palm and its product derivatives. And we believe that Ghana can replicate what Malaysia has been able to do. And we've identified the oil palm industry as one of the new strategic anchor industries to diversify the economy away from gold. So the children of Lapiamenka has taken up the challenge, and they've applied for support under 1D1F. And because it falls within the category of companies, industry sectors that we are promoting under the 1D1F, we will do whatever we can to support them. We are helping them to raise additional financing, to bring in some new equipment, also to bring in some specialized raw materials for their production process. All that they will be importing will come in duty-free, because one of the incentives under the 1D1F. The financing from the local banks will also come at the subsidized interest rates, and then they also enjoy a tax holiday for 5 years. But we are keen in supporting companies like this, because that's what the president has been preaching about, adding value to our local natural resources. Also being able to produce to replace imports for goods that we can easily produce. But it goes beyond that, also being able to produce what we can export to earn foreign exchange. And you know that the continental free trade area will start trading 1st of January, and I'm very confident that with the reputation of this company and the quality of their product, that once we are able to help them under 1D1F to come back into full operation, that will become one of the leading companies that will be exporting.
The new owners of the factory say they are poised to optimize the full benefits derived under the One District, One Factory program. Director of Operations, Kweku Apiaminka, noted that they are expecting about $5 million in funding to start operations.
The company was incorporated in the 70s. We started operations in 1979. We produce under the soap and vegetable oil under the brand names Apino and Mama Vegetable Oil, and also King Bar Soap. The company in its heyday really produced for UNHCR, so we're producing soap for even refugees in Liberia and the like. Our key export markets, Niger, Burkina Faso and Mali, and also the Ghanaian market, as everybody knows. The company put together the refinery in 2007. That's when we started operating the refinery. So every palm oil that we get, we use the section or a part for vegetable oil and part for the soap. It's a very interesting concept, because Piamika Complex Limited is a vertically integrated organization. We have oil palm plantations, and then we also have oil mills, and then we have the refinery, and then the soap factory. So we have one leg in the agric sector, on the agric ministry, and one leg in the trade and industry sector. In 2014, the country, our production started going down, and that led to some of the issues that we're having in the organization, partly due to competition because of imports that were coming in, also high cost of capital and also high cost of production because of the import taxes and duties that we're paying on our raw materials. We believe that with 1D1F, it's a very important policy. And once we roll under the 1D1F, it's going to change the whole playing field in terms of our indigenous nature and also our production setup. And that will really open doors for us to really step up our production in the oil sector.
Government is also supporting Brim Oil Mills in establishing a 5,000-acre nucleus farm of oil palm in 2 years and engage some 15,000 outgrowers in the next 6 years. This will provide a stable raw material for the factory. Daniel Ano is the director of Brim Oil Mills.
It is 30 tons per hour mill. So what it means is that it's capable of processing about 560 tons of FFB, fresh fruit bunch, per day. 500 of palm oil, yeah, a day. And then after that, we extract what we call palm kernel oil, which is almost about 10% of that 560 tons per day. So that means almost about 56 tons of oil can be extracted. PKO, palm kernel oil, can be extracted. We have our own turbine that can generate electricity for the company. For all the processes that we're doing, we depend on the turbine. We have what we call boiler, and that boiler is supposed to generate steam to sterilize our fruits and also to propel the turbine so that the turbine can generate electricity for the factory. And there is also market for the products, and if you look around, you can see that if we get to the maximum capacity, we can employ a lot of people. As at now, we have almost about 120 workers. So we are trying to even do better. If you look at our operations, basically it's financing. As I said, we have a capacity of about 30 tons per hour, and this demand a bigger plantation that will feed this mill. All the mills that we have in the country, that government built those mills, are supported by what we call the nucleus farms. We are yet to get our nucleus farm. We're dependent on the PSI. And so we need almost about a minimum of about 4,000 hectares of oil palm plantation to take care of this mill.
The Minister of Trade and Industry, Honorable Alain Chematin, reiterated the importance of the oil palm sector as a strategic industry to diversify the country's exports away from gold and cocoa.
The reason why they are part of the 1D1F is because we've identified as a country the oil palm industry as one of our new strategic anchor industries that we are promoting to diversify our economy away from cocoa. I'm sure most of you may be aware that the oil palm industry in Malaysia is able to earn over 25 billion US dollars per annum. 25 billion US dollars per annum. So if you compare what we currently are able to earn from cocoa, which averages around $2 billion per annum, compared to what potentially we can make from the oil palm industry, you can imagine the difference, you know. And so we are putting our weight as a government behind both existing oil palm processing companies and new ones that can be established. Now, interestingly, this company started under the PSI, former PSI program. But at that point in time, they were developing gradually their plantation base. But because there was the emphasis on the sector after 2008, they also were unable to continue their operations. Now, under the 1D1F, they've been able to attract some funding from commercial bank with the assistance of the Ministry of Trade and Industry. And then the ADB is also actively processing the application for additional equipment. The number of jobs that this factory alone can generate is significant. Not just the factory jobs, but if you do the backward integration, they are talking about a nucleus farm of about 4,000 acres. And then, hectares, 4,000 hectares, together with the outgrowers that would complement that. The number of people who will be engaged in the plantation alone is very significant. And interestingly, oil palm is also used as a major industrial raw material. It is used in the cosmetic industry, it is used in the pharmaceutical industry, it is used in food preparations, very extensively used in the pharmaceutical industry also. So by developing the oil palm industry, we are not only going to trigger the development of other sectors of the economy, but also potentially become a major foreign exchange earner. And that is why the 1D1F, the ministry, is supporting this project.
Beyond engaging indigenous Ghanaians into establishing factories in the country, the One District, One Factory program is instrumental in attracting foreign direct investment into the country. Evident among these are the Zonda Sinotrack Assembly Plant, Ryder Steel, Golden Milan Aluminium Processing Factory, and Mars Industries, manufacturers of confectionaries in Ghana. The Zonda Sinotrack Assembly Plant Limited, located at Tema, registered to be a part of the One District, One Factory program in 2018. At the Tema plant, brands like Sinotrack and Zonda Tricycle are assembled to reduce production and overhead cost, thus selling at a relatively lower price to their valued customers and still offering them quality products and services. General Manager of Zonda Sinotrack Assembly Plant Limited, Mrs. Yang Yang, said the company, aside from establishing the assembly plant, is involved in technology transfer to Ghanaian technicians.
1D1F, first I heard about it in 2018. Honorable at that time mentioned to me. Actually, when I came to Ghana, we started in trading. I always have a dream to do manufacturing. At that time, Honorable encouraged me to establish the factory. He said, at least Ghana is developing. So we need to look at 5 years, 10 years. So thanks to our Honorable's vision, then we started this factory. Then when we started the factory, I realized that the government really has paid a lot of attention to our development. That is why our Honorable is here to support us. Actually, for our company, directly and indirectly, we're employing more than 250 people because for our factory, it's not only here. We also established a lot of branches. So we're training a lot of Ghanaians to learn the technology, and also when they learn the technology, they go out to teach more Ghanaians for how to assemble the vehicles, how to maintain the vehicles.
Located at Dawa Ningo Prampram in the Greater Accra region, Golden Milan Company Limited is into the manufacturing of aluminium windows and door profiles and started operations in 2019. The company joined the One District, One Factory program being facilitated by the Ministry of Trade and Industry to expand its operations significantly and to take advantage of the increased demand for aluminium products. Minister of Trade and Industry explains that the company is a bridge between the integrated aluminium industry being developed by government and the downstream manufacturing enterprises.
But the interesting thing about Golden Milan is that it is one of the aluminium profile manufacturing companies that is going to create a link between the aluminium, bauxite and aluminium industry that we've been talking about, and then the downstream manufacturing enterprises that we hope to be able to developed. So here is how it works. You have bauxite, and out of bauxite you get alumina, and then the alumina is smelted by, let's say, VACO or a smelter to produce aluminium ingots. But from the time that VACO was established, it meant that we didn't have a fully integrated bauxite and aluminium industry, because the process will end at VACO producing the aluminium ingots, and then that is exported. But right now that we are moving further beyond smelting the alumina to get ingots, we are now having this company that uses the aluminium ingots from VACO, mixes the ingots with scrap, as you can see in the yard, to produce aluminium profiles. So it shows you where the country is going, that when we talk about an integrated bauxite and aluminium industry, this is part of the downstream component of that integrated industry.
General Manager of Golden Milan, Xiao Wei-Zhan, said foreigners now have the chance to engage with government through the One District, One Factory program.
Company, aluminium company, we are a part of the 1D1F. It's our honor to join 1D1F. And before we don't have a chance can working with the government, but right now government give us the chance to join 1D1F. It will help us a lot, like communicate with government, communicate with Trade Industry Ministry. It's like a bridge, you know. It's like a bridge to connect government and with us, like the foreigner sets the factory in Ghana. Yeah, it's our honor.
Mars Industries Limited is an existing manufacturer dedicated to the production of biscuits. The company, aside from being a One District, One Factory company, has also registered under the Ghana Free Zones (ETY) ECOWAS and exports a significant portion, a minimum of 70% of what it produces, into the West African region. The brand has penetrated a large number of markets within Sub-Saharan Africa, with a strong presence in Benin, Burkina Faso, Côte d'Ivoire, Mali, Niger and Togo. The general manager of the company, Mr. Abdel Shami, detailed the operational capacity of the company and expansion efforts of the company under the One District, One Factory program.
Mars Industries is producing biscuits and wafers in Ghana. We have put up 2 new lines of biscuit and wafer under the 1D1F program. And we have enjoyed and we are very happy with joining this program. We currently, unfortunately, because of COVID, we have our workforce, we had to lay off some of them because of the COVID situation. But gradually now, with the gradual opening of the government, of the schools and of the economy, now we have started re-employing again. Hopefully by beginning next year, we will be back to full production and full employment.
The owners and promoters of this company were one of the most prominent business people in Ghana, bringing in different products and commodities that's imported. But when they decided to move into value addition and creating the infrastructure to produce some of the things that they were importing, they joined the 1D1F program. And I'm particularly pleased because, number one, they decided to go into the confectionery industry. Now, this is important for us because the raw material base for producing biscuits, a lot of that can be sourced locally. They use flour, which is produced here. They use palm oil, and other ingredients. Now, if you look at the nutritional effects and impact on our children, and even for certain brands for adults. And then you look at the potential for import substitution. Kindly, all kinds of biscuits from all over the world are imported into this country only because we hadn't built the local capacity, strongly enough to replace the imports. And that is why you find all kinds of products on the market imported from outside the country. But with the quality of products that they are producing now, there will be absolutely no reason why we should spend scarce foreign exchange to import biscuits into this country.
Companies under the One District, One Factory program enjoy 10% interest on loans facilitated by the Ministry of Trade and Industry, as well as a 5-year tax exemption. The One District, One Factory program has indeed positioned the country towards a strong export base by diversifying the nation's exports, at the same time rigorously pursuing an import substitution agenda aimed at making the country self-sufficient. The overdependence on importation is likely to reduce drastically with these efforts by government, which is intended in diversifying industrialization to the rural area. Most significantly, it has become evident that the nation has more avenue to attract foreign direct investment, boost international commerce, and save the country the much-needed foreign exchange, which can be spent on other developmental programs.